Hello everyone, my name is Haikal Afkar, and in this video, me and my friend Balkis and Omar will be presenting to you the Triarchic theory of successful intelligence. This video will be based on the book Contemporary Intellectual Assessment written by Flanagan and Harrison. Before we start, we need to know what is successful intelligence. Successful intelligence can be defined as the use of an individual's abilities to attain a successful life relative to the individual, recognizing and making use of one's strength as well as recognizing and finding a workaround of their weaknesses, adaptation to different environments, and balancing analytical, creative, and practical abilities. The Triarchic theory usually only goes as far as the identification of the analytical, creative, and practical abilities. However, in this video, we will explain the Triarchic theory in relation of intelligence and their usage in the real world.
Sternberg's theory compromises three aspects: componential, which corresponds to analytical abilities or internal world of the individual; experiential, which corresponds to creative abilities; and contextual, which corresponds to practical abilities or external world of the individual. The first one is componential, or intelligence and internal world of the individual. Componential explains about mechanisms of information processing. It explains how individuals approach a task. And there are three components. The first one is meta component. This is a higher order executive process. There are 8 steps. First is recognize the problem. Second, decide what the problem is. Third, use experiences to solve the problem. Fourth, selecting a strategy. So when you have a problem and you set the goal or solution, and next is to select a strategy. As we know, there are many strategies that we can use, such as spatial strategy, analytical strategy, and etc. You identify the obstacles, the pros and cons. And fifth, deciding on the appropriate action. Sixth, allocating resources. Seventh, after that, you monitor the problem-solving process as it is happening. And 8 is evaluation. The second one is performance component. This is a lower order mental process, and what this does is to carry out instructions from meta components. An example of this is the act of classifying, mapping, response, and etc. And the third component is knowledge acquisition component. This acquire knowledge to help carry out a task. This is also a lower order mental process, and there are 3 actions. First one is selective encoding. And so what we do is to select, to choose relevant information and eliminate the irrelevant ones to solve that problem. Second one is selective combination. Selective combination is to organize or make plans so that everything is coherent. It is the act of combining pieces of information. The third one is selective comparison, and this is relating old information and new information, or relating between the things that we learn and our past experience.
Intelligence and experience. Intelligence and experience are very closely related. Experience exposes us with situations that challenges our problem-solving skill, which then promotes some level of intelligence towards that problem. And thus, in assessing one's intelligence, one must take note on their level of experience. Ability to deal with novelty. Ability to deal with novelty, or in other words, a person's ability to adapt to new situations, has been proposed as a good way of measuring intelligence. Ability to automatize information processing. Automatic information processing refers to the ability to process information that are activated without the need of active attention. It has been found that this ability is a key aspect of intelligence. For example, repeated reading are found to help in intelligence as it trains the bottom-up function.
Hello guys, so today I'm going to explain to you guys about the Triarchic theory regarding the intelligence and the external world of the individual. So, it is thought that intelligent thought is directed towards one or more of three behavioral goals: adaptation to an environment, shaping of an environment, and selection of an environment. Intelligence is to be thought to pursue these three goals that has impact in people's lives. Alright, so the first one is about adaptation. Intelligence generally is directed towards the attempt to adapt to one's environment, even if the environment are new and different. The amount of mental effort to be able to adapt to them requires some form of intelligence. Alright, the second one is shaping. Sometimes adaptation is quite hard, and so to adapt better, shaping the environments are used as a backup strategy. Sometimes shaping is used before adaptation. Shaping allows the individual to mold the environment to fit their style as a preference, which may take some intelligence. Okay, the last and the third one is selection. Selection involves choosing one environment over another. It is generally used when both adaptation and shaping fails. So, we decide to leave certain environments and select others, the more fitting ones for us. All these processes need some intelligence. However, sometimes after selection has been made, the new environment are found to be more unfit or unsettling for us, and so they wish to be back to their original place.
So those were the implementation of the Triarchic theory founded by Robert J. Sternberg. Thank you very much, and we hope you learned something useful.